Good morning. Good morning. How are you? I hope you are having a fantastic day today. If you are a parent who has a teen or a student that is struggling in school or just wants to learn better in school, then I have something that might apply to you today. Today, I am discussing the real reason that your child may be failing their tests. Now, here's the thing. If you follow me over on my website, you'll know that I write blogs every single week. I come out with new blogs that parents can read, and some of my most popular blogs have to do with test taking. For example, the top 12 test taking tips to help your child take better tests, 3 test taking tips for when you don't know the answer and how to guess the right answer, 7 tips that you can do today in order to ace your next test, that sort of thing. And these blog posts and articles, they are so popular, and I know that so many parents are looking for resources for test taking. So I know that test taking can be a huge area of difficulty for so many students. So here's the thing. I'm going to tell you today exactly why, if you're looking for resources for your child to do better on their next test, then I want to talk to you today, because I want to discuss the real reason that your child might not be doing well on tests. If you are a parent that has, like other parents who've researched, good test taking strategies, researched test anxiety, maybe how to eliminate test anxiety, then this is for you. I know so many students that study for hours and hours and hours only to go to the test the next day and completely bomb the test, not do well at all, feel so frustrated of what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? I studied so hard. What is it that I'm doing wrong? I just want to do well on this test. And that's the thing that it breaks my heart so much to see students want to do well. They want to learn. They want to do well on the test and get an A on the test. They want to have good grades in that class, right? So they work hard, but they don't know, why is it that I'm still not doing well in this class? Why is it I'm still not doing well on tests? And so that's why so many parents are researching how to do well on tests, right? So here's what we're talking about today here is the real reason that your child may not be doing well in tests. It doesn't have to do with test strategies. It doesn't have to do with test anxiety. The real reason that your child may not be doing well on tests is because they are not studying the way they need to be studying. And here's what I want to say about this. So many parents may be thinking, no, I see my kids sitting down and they'll be sitting there for 2, 3, and 4 hours studying for the test. I know they're studying. I know they're working hard. They deserve to do well in the next test. And here's what I want to say. Absolutely, yes. Kudos to your kid, credit to your kid for putting in the time and the energy and the effort for studying for the test. But here's the thing. So many students, there's 2 types of students that struggle with studying or with memorization. One, they either have absolutely no clue how to study and how to memorize, or 2, they are studying the wrong way according to the way their brain works. And we're going to separate these two into 2 sections. So there's the first type of student that wants to study, that wants to do well, but has absolutely no idea how to study. And I've seen these students before where they take their textbook, they sit down at their desk, and they say, okay, for the next 2 hours, I'm just going to study. They open up their book, they flip through a few pages, read a few chapters, close the book, and say, okay, I studied. I'm ready for the test tomorrow. But they have absolutely no idea that that is not studying. Just reading a chapter or a few chapters is not studying. And these students have absolutely no idea that that's not studying. They think, so when they go to the test the next day, they take the test, they probably won't do well on the test, and the teacher goes, well, did you study? Like, why would teachers even ask that? Yes, of course we studied. And what's the response the student gives? Of course I studied. Of course I spent 2, 3, 4 hours studying. I can't believe I failed the test again. And here's the reason that students just have no idea that that's not studying. They don't know real study techniques and memorization techniques so that they can retain the information in their brain for longer term. They don't know that just starting the night before a test is not the way to study. Just sitting down and cramming for a few hours the night before a test, that is also not a good technique. If you have a kid that just starts studying the night before, this is another area of issue, of problem. They should be starting 3 and 4 and 5 nights ahead of time and studying and reviewing in smaller chunks, because the repetition over time helps with memory retention. So when they go to take the test on the test day, they will have the information retained in their brain and not just, well, I crammed so much the night before and I can't remember, and I can't remember what goes to what, so much information, right? We don't want that for our kids. So, and here's the problem, is that our school systems are not teaching our kids how to study. They just throw tons of information at our kids all day long without ever telling our kids, look, this is how you study. This is how you retain information. This is how we study and prepare for a test. No one ever does that. They just throw information at our kids and say, okay, here's the test. Let's see how much you remember. Like, that's not how it works. And we wonder why our kids are not doing well in school. It's because our teachers and our school systems are not preparing our kids properly, right? So if you have a kid that just sits down to read a textbook and has absolutely no idea how to study, here's step number 1. Let's teach your kid how to study. Help them research good study techniques, memorization techniques. And here's the second, I said the second type of student maybe has a few good study techniques and they still don't do well. And that's because they are not studying according to the way their brain actually works. And what does this mean? Every student has a different learning style, right? We all know, a lot of us know that there is auditory learning, there's visual learning, there is, it's actually it's called read-write learning, which is different from visual. And every single student memorizes and retains information differently. So here's an example that I see often is when a student goes to their teacher and says, look, I want to study and do well on the next test. Can you please tell me a good technique for me to study this information so that I can prepare for the test? And the teacher goes, sure, use flashcards. And the teen or the student goes, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to use flashcards. They make tons of these visual flashcards and they go over these flashcards for hours and they study. It was a good study technique. But if your teen or your student was an auditory learner, then visual flashcards won't help them retain this information, right? So they go to the test the next day and they go, I don't know what's wrong. I did exactly what you told me and I still failed the test. What happened? They don't know that this study technique was not what their brain works. That's not how your brain works. So many students that get into high school don't even know their learning style to know how they need to study, how they need to prepare for that next test. So the first thing that we can do to help our kids is help them learn what learning style they have. That's so funny, isn't it? We have to help them learn their learning style. So what you can do today is have your kid take, it's called a VARK questionnaire, V-A-R-K. Go look it up, have them take the VARK questionnaire and let them find out and discover what style of learning they have. Once they have learned what learning style they have, research techniques according to that learning style. And find out not only what their primary learning style is, but also their secondary. Because here's the thing, especially with in school, our kids are sat down and talked to and preached at all day long in class. But if your kid is, let's say they take the VARK questionnaire and maybe their primary learning style is kinesthetic learning, which means hands-on. So much of in-class learning is not hands-on. So if that is the case for your student, then they would need to fall back on their secondary learning style, and they would need to learn learning techniques and memorization techniques and study techniques for their secondary style. So if your child is struggling with tests, it may not be the test. It may not be, well, they don't know multiple choice very well. It may not be that they have really bad test anxiety. It may be that they don't have good study techniques and they don't study according to the way their brain works. So if that's your kid, please leave a comment and let me know. I cannot wait to hear from you, hear all about your kid. I hope you'll have a fantastic day. If you want additional support from a tutor, if you would like to have a tutor at your fingertips, you can join the Best Parent Support Community membership. Right now, we are allowing the first 100 parents to join our membership for free. It's a free 30-day trial. You can click the link and the description or click the button below, and you can go sign up and join us in this membership community where you will receive additional support to help you and your child through school. If you were thinking, well, I would like to get my kid a tutor, but tutoring just costs too much, then this support community membership is for you. You can jump on and receive the support that you and your child need to do better in school, to have better learning in school. I hope you will join us in that membership community. I hope you all have a fantastic day today. Take care. Bye, y'all.